Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and today we're going to talk about empaths and addictions. Everybody cool? And we're going to cover this in three parts. We're going to cover this in the Carl Jung perspective with regards to shadow work and how it leads to, not addressing your shadow is going to lead to addictions. And then we're going to talk about suffering and external reaching for suffering. And then what I'm going to do I'm going to tell you a little bit on how to overcome all of this stuff. Seriously, man. Okay. All right, here we go. So from the beginning, according to Carl Jung, as far as I can figure this out, you have this shadow side. And this shadow side was this part of you that's being repressed. And you also have empathic superpowers that you're not necessarily born with. They were kind of created through a lifetime of trauma. And all of this trauma always being on eggshells for your entire life, like whether you've faced a lot of abuse, whether you've been, whatever it is, okay? Like a lot of abuse, it could be verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, not fitting in, like your parents don't love you, they push you to in certain ways, whatever it is, man. All of this walking on eggshells or all of this being super hyper attuned has created this. And part of this is you have this part of you that's wants to communicate. And for whatever it is, for whatever reason, you're repressing that part of you that wants to communicate to you. Now, I'm telling you, if you can somehow integrate these parts, that the ones you're suppressing or the ones that you think the world wants to see, when you can integrate all of this together, your life is going to change dramatically. There are steps you have to do afterwards, or steps you have to take afterwards, but that's not what we're doing today. So some of the things that people do when they really rejecting this shadow side is they drown it in alcohol, man. They drown that shadow side in alcohol. Some people are so super intuitive that their brain is always firing, or like they're so intelligent, their brain is always firing. It's always, always, always on. I describe it sometimes like there's this giant argument, like they're yelling and screaming inside of my head. And I haven't talked to anybody in days, but there's this yelling and screaming going on. It's nonstop. Figure it out, get it done, do this and that. And it can be difficult most of the times. And sometimes we self-medicate, we try and quiet all of those voices with drugs and alcohol, or we quiet them in other ways, right? Other types of addictions. And so we're kind of just distracting ourselves. We're distracting ourselves from ourselves. There is a part of you that's trying to communicate, for better or worse. And it's not always scary, man. It could be saying good things, but it doesn't even matter. Just know that it's saying something. Sometimes just acknowledging that part of you is enough to integrate or to begin the healing process and integrate. Back when I was a hypnotherapist, I used to, in addition to all the scripts I used to write for everybody and all the techniques I used, one of the biggest things that I was able to do was if I can just help someone get into state, I call it state. If I can help someone get into the state, their subconscious will take care of the rest to an extent, right? To a large extent. There are little tricks you have to use. There are some tricks I've been doing on myself. You guys should have seen me doing this. But that's the deal, man. Just get into state and somehow have someone hold you there in state, and your brain, your subconscious should figure it out. So that's the first thing. You're trying to communicate something to yourself, and you're not listening. And you're definitely smothering that part of you with addictions. And do you need that part of you? Well, if you want to fit in the world, you're probably going to continue to repress that part of you. But if you want to become sovereign and an entity unto yourself and not running around saying, oh, I got to go do this for that chick, or, oh, that guy makes, oh, I'm doing all this for that guy, or, oh, he doesn't treat me right, or I attract this certain type, or how come I don't get this success, or this or that, or why am I always pushing this? And, if you want to avoid that and you just want to like be cool, man, which is what you want to do, because you already have magic powers, man. You already have the magic powers. You're just lacking congruency. So that's it. The difference between an awakened empath and a regular empath is the regular empath suppresses their shadow. They're always like being, they're always being compelled to go do something for someone else. Where the awakened empath, eventually they do the shadow work and make peace with their shadow. They make peace with all of the parts of them that they were insecure about, the parts that they're trying to hide, even from themselves, man. And you're hiding it using drugs and alcohol, because you're using addictions to hide. You're using addictions to avoid that internal dialogue. But once you make the decision to make peace with that internal dialogue, you're going to want to sit in the silence. And then you'll find that as you become sovereign and self-contained, then you're not going to reach for that stuff. Now, I'm not telling you guys to stop drinking forever. That's not the point. The point is to stop drinking at 8 a.m. every single day. That's the point. And so that's the point. And you could always go on a vacation and take a drink, or you could go, have a smoke or whatever. The thing is, you're contained now. So you're not leaking out this kind of energy and you're not reaching that. Remember, the things we love are things that tend to be projections from inside, right? And so you're reaching for that because of some kind of thing on the inside that you really don't want to listen to. All right, so that's the first thing. Right? Everybody got that? Shadow work is going to help you. Hey, a little bit of shadow work, but not a lot of bit of shadow work. I did this through point 3, and we're going to get to that in a sec. Point 2, it deals with suffering, man. This is you right here. By definition, anything external is going to end. And because it ends, that's going to lead to suffering. That's the definition of it. So, but it's always out there. Remember, we're trying to, as you awaken as an empath, you're trying to achieve sovereignty, which means you're cool by you don't need any of that stuff. And so once you imagine yourself as sovereign, booze is on the outside, man. You have to go get booze. Like anytime you reach for something, whether you're reaching to go talk to the girl or to be nice to someone, this isn't of the goody-goody side. I'm telling you, whether you're being nice to someone or not, that's all irrelevant. That's going to cause a problem. So to booze, you have to bring in here. And every time you bring something in, that's suffering. Now, you could like the girl, you could like the guy, whatever, man. Just know there's always a little thing with it. Same with the booze. It's external. If you bring it in, it's going to cause suffering. So that's 2 things, right? 2 things to keep in mind. 1, your shadow's trying to speak to you. If you can integrate your shadow, you will just explode your superpowers that you've already been cultivating through a lifetime of trauma and abuse and self-doubt and self-loathing and feeling like you haven't been good enough. All of that, and walking on eggshells and being all of that's created this hyper-intuned empathic nature of yours and mine, of course. And it's going to expand, and you're going to become like psychic. So, and you're going to be very successful. But you have to begin the awakening process, or else you're going to constantly have problems with guys. You're constantly going to attract guys that feed your shadow, right? Your dark side. You're going to always attract abusive people if you don't heal this. You will always attract losers. You will always attract losers because inside you don't feel like a winner. And that's what the action is. I didn't make this up, man. I didn't make this up. So that's the deal. So that's the shadow. The other thing to keep in mind is when you're reaching out for suffering. So you might want to, that's it. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying you're reaching for suffering. Finally, I wrote something down about overcoming all of this kind of stuff. The secret to overcoming all of these addictions, right, from my desk, right, as the hypnotherapist, the secret to overcoming this is to identify yourself as a new person, not to judge the past, not to blame the past, not to like go on and on say, oh, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do that. No, man, that's not how you overcome this. You don't overcome this through steps. You don't overcome this through addressing the symptoms. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is, so I'm not doing this shit anymore, man. I'm actively trying to do something else. And it doesn't matter if you're addicted to food, sweets, cake, donuts, overeating, breakfast cereal, or you're addicted to alcohol, or you're addicted to. Now, yeah, there is a chemical change that happens in your body, and you're going to have to address the chemical change, but not at this point. At this point, you have to make a decision, and you just have to lock it in. I know I did that in the past. I know. But but when you awaken and achieve sovereignty, it means nobody has, and remember, nobody has the right to dump on you, even if it's your fault. And that means you don't have the right to dump on yourself. So stop attacking your subconscious, right? Because it's trying to help you. It's trying to help you with all the trauma you go through. And so stop fighting your subconscious. Talk to it, right? Go into it, meditate, find it, come talk to me. If you ask, maybe I'll make some videos for you on how to do that. Stop going looking for problems, man. Stop looking for problems. Don't bring them here. And you just have to make that decision that that's not you anymore. Once you begin to awaken, you're going to want to continue to awaken. And I know on one side of addiction, it's very daunting to want to cross that line. And I'm telling you, no steps, no this, no that. You're going to just stop and not go back. You will be tested, and you'll be tested and tested and tested, and you'll want to go back. And you can go back, right? It's not like, and then stop again. But it's not as difficult as you think if you do this. Now, one more thing. As I'm awakening, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm not telling anybody to stop any of their addictions in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not telling you guys how to do it either. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing and what's working for me, and maybe some of the reasons why I chose this path as opposed to another path. And that's the action, man. I wish everyone the absolute best of an amazing day, and good luck, guys. Sending love all the way around the world. I wish the best for you. It's not as difficult as it seems. Well, it's not as difficult as it seems if you know how to do deep trance work. If you don't, good luck. Anyways, sending love around the world, and wishing everyone the best of an amazing day. From TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the best, and I'll see you guys soon.